Welcome back to Rise Entertainment 360. Now, we are still joined by the amazing playwright and director Ifeoma Fafunwa and, of course, the talented Odenike from Hear Word. Ladies, thank you so much for staying with us. Now, my question is about gender parity. Being that we are currently in America, the land of the free, home of the brave, where you would think that the sexes are equal, but they're not. In as much as they're not in Nigeria. What do you make of gender parity and gender parity equality laws as they stand currently today?
Well, laws, if we're talking about Nigeria, there are laws, and we have a fairly lawless society, so it doesn't really matter what laws you have. It's about culture, norms, and behavior, and beliefs. Tradition.
Yeah, tradition.
So you can have laws all day long, but what do you do in your home? You know, churches have more law in Nigeria. They have more power over our behavior than government.
So do you see any hope of changing that mindset, that way of thinking, that culture, when people were saying it's been this way for thousands of years, just keep it going?
What do we do to change that mindset?
Well, we're trying to do, we're trying to use art. We're trying to use art because, you know, young people get a lot from reality TV, from social media, and you're not aware, but you're forming your belief system. So this is what inspired me to actually do this work, is to use art in a way that you're watching live for 90 minutes, you know, these issues being told it's not even a TV, you're right in front of the performer. You have no choice but to be affected, like you said.
But you know, I've heard stories of people being harmed, you know, or their families being harmed by bringing these new beliefs or these, you know, equality beliefs to certain areas, especially certain areas of Africa. Did you guys, especially because, you know, feminism isn't warmly received there right now, did you guys fear, you know, telling this story or bringing this to light, and that it could, you know, bring harm to you or your family?
No.
Well, I mean, there were some times we wanted to, you know, the times we did like on the streets, and we wanted to do the play in certain areas, and we're thinking, are we sure we're ready to go here?
I mean, yes.
There are parts of Nigeria you would be scared to.
We would never go.
Definitely.
But we started the play in the city, in Lagos, cool old Lagos, and we're tough chicks. So we weren't afraid physically. What was scary, I mean, or should I say, we weren't sure it would work. But we found that women just kept coming back and bringing their daughters and bringing their mothers and bringing their friends and then bringing their husbands.
Like 10
times. So we realized, my goodness, some people have seen this show 10 times. It means it's working.
Really?
I mean, speaking of people who've seen it multiple times and are bringing it everywhere, let's talk about the United Nations. Amina Mohammed. Amazing. Okay, I would just like the record to show that I walked past her, the second in command of the United Nations, yesterday. She actually was the one that asked you guys to bring it to New York at the UN headquarters.
She had seen it in Abuja.
That's colossal. Wow. What does that make you feel like to have someone that important say, I've seen this has affected my life, and now I need people around me to see it also?
It validates all the work we've done. We work very hard. And you know, we're from a place where the arts is not really supported. I mean, it's hard to pull a play together in Nigeria. It's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Gray hair.
What do you hope that people will take away from this play, both in Nigeria and here in the U.S.?
Well, for me, I think there's a lot of healing processes, like therapeutic for a lot of people. It validates some of the beliefs that some people have. A lot of my friends come to see the play and they're like, you know, I always felt this way. And, you know, and then seeing it right in front of you, it's like, yes, that's what I thought, you know. And, you know, when certain things are happening, you can't quite put your finger on why is this wrong, because you're from a culture that accepts it. And then you see it right in front of you, and you're like, yes, that's it. It's wrong, you know. And then the things that are right, the things that you should do, the things you shouldn't do, it's just like validating things for you, telling you what is right and not right, you know, in terms of gender equality and such things. And things that they've been through
good art
as well.
makes you question
Exactly, your own beliefs and everything. And I think that's one of the amazing things that it has done for a lot of women and a lot of people, actually, in Nigeria.
Now, speaking of doing amazing things, Mrs. F, you are about to put on a play about the LGBTQIA community in Nigeria.
Yes.
Let's start with that is. Isn't that scary to you?
That is so brave.
Yes, well,
with
that's
the law,
so brave.
That's braver. But I mean, yes, that's braver, and or should I say that's definitely more scary.
Yeah.
So I think it would be changed from a play to a film.
Can you explain why that's scary, why certain laws and things that can happen if people are found to be bisexual, homosexual, whatever? And
well, I mean, it's not against the law in Nigeria to, be in a leadership role as a woman.
Okay.
But it's against the law in Nigeria to be gay, or to be a member of LGBT,
or even supported.
You'll be put into jail for 14 years.
It's 14 years for gay marriage, 10 years for being gay, and 10 years for being a part of a gathering. So if you go to a wedding or you attend a party, a gay party, or a gay service, or it's 10 years.
Wow.
So it's against the law. So in that sense,
that must be terrifying.
Really terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not afraid that they might see you as sort of promoting homosexuality in a way?
So what I'm afraid of is losing the amount of leeway we've made with Hear Word.
Yeah.
So Hear Word has a large following now. A lot of women support it, and it's so important. We were asking her, and we'll maybe close on that. What is the mission of Hear Word? What is the main objective? So you would hate to sort of have everything you've worked for moved aside because you're saying, hey, let's look at the way we look at members of the LGBT. It's intolerance. And, if you want to talk about historically the way women have been perceived, women's power around the world, at least in Africa, has reduced over the last hundreds of years. Because women in Africa always had their money, always had their markets, etc. And as time went by, as the colonial era came in, the corruption came in. Corruption reduces women to always having to go to men for handouts, right? Because there's so much money, and you begin to now look at your peers with a Gucci bag and the best phone. It's, it's a material society. It compromises you as a woman. So if you look at that history, and now you then, let's go to LGBT. My belief is that in Africa, we always had people who were LGBT, and it was no big deal in a village. I was like, no mind that one now woman. Somebody say, wait till they do that one, say, no mind now woman. But if you chop in food.
People see
right on. Let's just translate that for our international community.
Right.
She has effectively said that in the village, when you're talking, when we are looking at a gay man, I'm not saying that gay at all, but they'll say effectively, don't mind that one, that he's a woman.
Yes,
Which I mean funny,
so it may seem like it's not accepted, but it's certainly not burn them at the stake. They're taking down the society, Sodom and Gomorrah, kill them, hit them. In Nigeria now, people in my work, I didn't know this was happening, but in this recent work, I realized people were killing. You hear of it, but people are like knocking people out and killing them and beating them. And of course it fits the law.
Yeah, and nothing is going to be done.
Share young people.
Nothing is. For me, it's actually different in the sense that I've actually even seen shows about this, and it's crazy that a lot of people my age also sort of have this same mindset where why are you gay? You must be a demon, and I'm like,
on that note,
and I think it's a good thing that you guys are spreading the word of the truth of these stories and these situations. So thank you for all your work. Real quick, where can people find out more information? 10 seconds.
They have to go online. So Hear Word. If you just do hashtag Hear Word.
Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank
you guys. Hear Word.